The lights hit your mirror and your chest tightens. One wrong sentence can make this stop much worse. Have you ever talked too much during a stop? Yes or no? You pull over, your hands feel shaky, the officer walks up, and your brain starts racing. You want this over fast, so you start talking, you explain, you guess, you defend yourself before you even know what matters. Here's what most people do wrong. They think talking more will calm things down. They think a long story makes them look honest. They think if they sound friendly enough, the officer will go easy on them. This is exactly where things fall apart. The stop is already tense. Your extra words do not always help. Sometimes they hand the officer more reasons to keep digging. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. A stop can change in seconds. A simple ticket can turn into a long roadside interview. A few nervous answers can sound like guilt even when you did nothing serious. You also feel pressure to be polite. That part makes sense. You do want to stay respectful, but respectful does not mean you have to fill every silence. Respectful does not mean you have to guess, confess, or volunteer details. Every day, drivers say things they can never take back. They answer questions they did not need to answer. They agree to things they did not need to agree to. Then later, they say the same line, "I was just trying to be nice." That is why this matters. You do not need a magic speech. You need one calm response at the right moment. That one response changes your tone, slows the stop down, and helps you protect yourself. I have studied real traffic stop situations for years. I have gone through body cam footage, court records, and real driver encounters. I have watched the same mistake happen again and again. The driver gets nervous, talks too much, and loses control of the stop. Here's the first move. I call it the tone setter. Most drivers start wrong before the officer even finishes the first sentence. They sound angry, scared, sarcastic, or rushed. That tells the officer this stop may get messy, even if you only made a small mistake. Say exactly this. "Officer, I want to cooperate, and I want to keep this calm." That line is simple, but it does a lot. It shows respect without giving up your rights. It tells the officer you're not there to fight, run, or turn a small stop into a scene. It also helps your own brain. When you say calm words, you slow yourself down. That matters more than people think. Your voice can either feed the tension or lower it. This line lowers it. Now let me show you why this works in real life. Many officers expect one of two things. They expect excuses, or they expect attitude. They hear people say, "I did nothing wrong." They hear, "Why are you stopping me?" They hear, "Everyone else was speeding." They hear, "This is harassment." Even if you feel those things, saying them first is usually a bad move. It puts heat into the stop right away. Your goal is different. Your goal is to set a steady tone before the stop starts writing its own story. That line does that. It gives the officer a calm first impression. It also gives you a script. That matters because fear makes people ramble. When you do not know what to say, you say too much. A short script keeps you from filling the air with risky words. There is another reason this line helps. It keeps you away from fake friendliness. Some drivers laugh too much, some joke, some start over explaining. That can look nervous. It can also look like you are trying to talk your way around the stop. Simple beats, clever. Calm beats, cute. Honest tone. Beats, nervous chatter. Here's how you pair this line with your body. Pull over safely. Turn off the music. Keep your hands where the officer can see them. At night, turn on the inside light if you can. Do not reach for your wallet or glove box early. Wait until the officer asks. Then tell the officer where the documents are before you move. That part is huge. Sudden reaching makes everyone more tense. Calm words only work if your actions match them. Imagine the officer walks up and asks for your license and insurance. The wrong move is digging fast, talking over the officer, and shuffling through your console with both hands. The better move is much slower. You say your calm line, then you say your wallet is in your back pocket, and the insurance card is in the glove box. Then you wait for the nod and move one step at a time. That sounds small, but it changes the whole feel of the stop. You look steady. You look safe. You look like someone who is paying attention. That also protects you from your own anger. Some stops feel unfair from the first second. Maybe you know you are not speeding. Maybe the officer sounds rude. Maybe you had a long day and want to snap back. Your line keeps you from doing that. It gives your mouth a job before emotion takes over. That is a real skill. Body cam footage shows this all the time. The stop goes bad when the driver answers tone with tone. The voice gets sharper. The hands move faster. The stop turns personal. Your line interrupts that pattern. It says you are choosing discipline over ego. And that can matter even if the stop ends with a ticket. A ticket is annoying. A roadside argument is worse. One costs money. The other can cost your peace, your time, and sometimes much more. Start calm, and you give yourself the best chance to leave with only the issue you already had. Think of this line like a reset button. The lights came on. Your heart jumped. The officer is watching everything. This line says, "We are not making this harder than it needs to be." It is not weak. It is smart. You're not begging. You're not admitting guilt. You're setting terms for your own behavior. You're choosing calm before panic chooses for you. That matters even when you know you did nothing serious. Innocent drivers get rattled too. Innocent drivers still talk too much. Innocent drivers still make fast movements, sharp comments, and nervous jokes. Innocent does not always sound calm on camera. That is why your script matters. It keeps your good case from sounding messy. It keeps your stress from writing the first draft of the stop. When your first words are steady, the rest of the contact often stays cleaner. And yes, this line can help even if the officer sounds sharp. Maybe the officer walks up fast. Maybe the voice sounds cold. Maybe the question sounds loaded. Your job is not to mirror that energy. Your job is to stay level. If the officer is tense and you stay steady, the stop has a better chance of staying controlled. You cannot control the officer. You can control your tone. That is more power than most people realize. One more thing, cooperate with lawful basics. If the officer asks for your license, registration, and proof of insurance, hand them over when safe. If the officer asks whether there is a weapon in the vehicle, answer that clearly. If the officer tells you to keep your hands visible, do it. If the officer tells you to step out, do it without arguing on the roadside. Roadside is not the courtroom. Maybe they say they smelled something. Maybe they say they saw something. Your clear refusal still matters because it shows you did not volunteer permission. That can matter later. Another mistake drivers make is over-explaining their refusal. They say, I have privacy rights, and my uncle is a cop, and I know the law, and you cannot do that. That long speech adds heat. Keep it simple. The more you explain, the more chances you give yourself to say something dumb. The line works because it is clean. It is also useful if there are passengers. Everyone hears your position clearly. The body cam hears it. The roadside hears it. There's no confusion about whether you gave permission. That matters. One short sentence can protect a lot. So if the officer asks to look inside, check your bag or pop the trunk. Do not argue. Do not joke. Do not get cute. Use your permission block and stop there. Your rights do not disappear because you feel pressured. Clear words hold the line. Is there someone you love who drives every day and needs this? Will you share this video with them right now before their next stop? Here is the last move, and this one matters when the stop starts getting serious. I call it the exit or lawyer lock. Sometimes the traffic part is over, but the questions keep coming. Sometimes the officer wants more talking. After you already gave the basics, that is when you need to know exactly where you stand. Say exactly this: am I free to leave? And if not, I want a lawyer. This line does two smart things at once. First, it asks the simple status question. Are you done here or not? Second, if you're not free to go, it tells the officer you do not want more questioning without a lawyer. A lawyer is the person who protects your side. In plain English, this line tells the stop to stop growing through your own mouth. This is huge because many drivers miss the moment when a normal stop changes shape. At first, it feels like paperwork. Then it turns into more questions. Then the officer wants you to explain, clarify, come back to the patrol car, or keep talking about where you were. That is the danger zone. This is also where many people start bargaining with themselves. They think, maybe if I answer one more thing, I can fix this. Maybe if I explain harder, the officer will see I am a good person. Maybe if I keep talking, this will go away. That hope is what gets people in trouble. Once the stop feels serious, more talking usually helps the officer, not you. Your line ends that guessing game. It gives you a clean fork in the road. Either you're free to go or you're done answering without counsel. Counsel means a lawyer. A lawyer is your guide and shield in a serious case. You do not need to sound dramatic when you ask. You just need to sound steady. Calm words can still be firm. Firm words can still be respectful. If you stay in chat mode, you may keep feeding the stop. If you use this line, you force clarity. If the officer says you are free to leave, then leave calmly. Do not hang around. Do not go back for the last word. Do not ask for a lecture about fairness. Just leave. If the officer says you're not free to leave, your next step is not talking more. Your next step is staying quiet after asking for a lawyer. This part matters so much. Do not ask for a lawyer and then keep chatting. People do that all the time. They say they want a lawyer, then keep explaining because silence feels weird. That defeats the point. Once you say the line, let the quiet do its job. Keep your face calm. Keep your hands still. Do not start whispering to passengers about what to say next. Do not start explaining under your breath. Do not try to sneak in one last story because you think it sounds harmless. Harmless words have a way of becoming useful words for the other side. After your line, your best move is simple discipline. Listen. Follow basic orders. Wait. Let the lawyer request do the heavy lifting. You also need to understand what this line is not. It is not rude. It is not an attack. It is not some movie moment where everyone freezes. It is a calm checkpoint. It tells you whether the stop is over. And if it is not over, it tells the officer that you are done doing free labor with your own words. Let me give you a common example. The officer already ran your license. You got a warning or a ticket. But the officer keeps asking where you were tonight and whether there is anything else to know. Many people think they have to keep answering because the officer is still standing there. Not true. Ask if you are free to leave. If yes, go. Another example. The officer starts pushing harder. The questions get sharper. The tone changes. That is not the time for one more explanation. That is the time for your lawyer lock. Another example is after a passenger says something dumb and all eyes turn back to you. The air gets heavy. The officer wants your version now. That pressure makes people babble. Do not take the bait. Use your line and stay disciplined. And remember this. If you're ever arrested or seriously accused, the worst thing you can do is keep trying to talk your way out. People think one perfect sentence will save them. Usually it does the opposite. The safe move is much less dramatic. Ask the status question. Ask for a lawyer if you're not free to leave, then stop talking. That is control. That is discipline. That is how you protect yourself when the stop shifts from simple to serious. You do not need to win the moment. You need to survive it clean. Ask, learn, lock it down. So lock this in. First, use the tone setter to lower the heat, show calm cooperation, and keep fear from driving your mouth. Second, use the reason question so you never guess, confess, or hand over facts the officer did not even ask for. Third, use the quiet shield to stop a roadside small talk from turning into evidence and to protect yourself from nervous over-talking. Fourth, use the permission block to refuse searches clearly, keep your rights in place, and avoid turning pressure into permission. Fifth, use the exit or lawyer lock to find out if the agency stop is over and to stop serious questioning before your own words hurt you. You now know something that most drivers will never know. You're not helpless in that situation anymore. You have lines. You have a plan. And if you forget everything else, remember this. You do not have to perform on the roadside. You do not have to solve the whole stop with a speech. Short words protect you better than long stories. Calm protects you better than ego. A plan protects you better than panic. This is not about being slick. It is about being ready. It is about sounding calm when your heart is racing. It is about protecting your future with simple words you can remember under stress. And you just completed real training you can actually use. Here is my challenge to you. Pick one line from this video, save it in your phone, and use it the next time a stop gets tense. Then come back and tell me what happened in the comments. Stay calm, speak smart, protect your rights.